inspired by Busan Kevin's video, Your Worst Job, I thought I might add a little video of my own and tell you about the worst job that I ever had. Um, well, it wasn't so long ago. Actually, it was just last December, when on December 17th, I started working for a local restaurant, pretty high-class restaurant, that has probably the best wine in all the area, in the area around here. Um, and I would work in the kitchen, but not the kitchen where you prepare food, but the kitchen where the dishes would be washed. So, well, I became a dishwasher. Um, I started on December 17th last year, and it's well, the work starts at 7 o'clock in the morning, which means I have to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning. Well, for most people this might be pretty normal, but for me it's yeah, it's very early. But it was okay. It was okay. The pay was they pay well, and I thought, why not? So I get up at 5 o'clock and sit in the bus at 6:30 and was at work at 7 o'clock. And in the beginning, there you would have to wash to clean the kitchen, where the cooks work, wipe the floors, clean the tables, and then all that stuff. Um, then the dishes of last day's supper would have to be cleaned and reorganized into the shelves. Um, then the first guests would arrive and have breakfast, so their stuff would have to be cleaned. Then dinner, of course, and then the afternoon cake and coffee guests would come in, and usually work would end at 3:30 in the afternoon. Um, Thing is, I began working on December 17th, as I said, and that is already in the thick of Christmas business. So at that time, I didn't know that there should be the work should be over at 3:30, because we usually worked until 4:30, because there were so many guests, that we hardly that we could hardly wash the dishes fast enough. But that was okay too. I mean, I can live with stress. That's okay. It was more the people that worked there, or let's say one special woman who worked there that made it all hell. There was a blonde lady in her late 40s, who, well, managed the dishwashing kitchen, and she was good. She was a good superior. Um, Me being new, of course I worked slowly or slower than the others, although I did my best. And of course I made mistakes, because we had to, as I said, put things back into the shelves, so that the chefs would find their pots and their plates and whatever they needed. And well, I made mistakes because it was new and I had to be taught. They had to explain things to me several times over, and well, my superior always did that, and that was fine. And of course, she made, how should I put it, jokes when I did something clumsy. But well, she was always earnest, and she was patient, and she explained things to me. Then there was this other guy who had been working there for quite a while, slightly younger than I was, and he also explained things, and he was also pretty patient. And well, he liked talking about computer games, and he was a real computer nerd, who always had to have the latest stuff, and yeah. Um, but he had a very different working style, a different style of working than the superior blonde lady. Um, So I always had to cope with who was there, so I wouldn't draw criticism, which made it a little complicated at times. Um, well, that was okay too. But well, as I said, there was this special lady who was, I guess, in her early 50s, and she had she had moments in which she was in a good mood and made jokes. The thing is that her jokes were very dry, if that's a proper expression. So I really couldn't tell her jokes from her being earnest or serious. Um, and I would look at her confused, and she'd say, "Oh, I just made a joke. It's okay." But I couldn't laugh because I was so confused, and I was always stressed because we had to work fast. So I guess she didn't like the fact that I didn't laugh about her jokes. Anyways, those days were rare. Usually, she would be pretty cranky and grumpy and well, and very frustrated, especially if there were many customers and if we couldn't go home. Whenever we couldn't go home at 3:30, she would really she would really turn sour, and you could hardly look at her without drawing acidical comments, so to speak. Um, it wasn't nice at all, and because I was the staff member with the least experience, who worked the slowest and made the most mistakes, I was usually the target of her comments, and actually, it wasn't just being commented upon, and it wasn't, well, that she was making fun of me or anything, but I felt treated like, how shall I put it, like someone who deliberately sabotaged work and who wanted to make the others work longer than absolutely needed. And she basically treated me like an idiot. I mean, come on, I didn't do it on purpose, right? And I was really angry at times, and I really thought about, you know, paying her back verbally for all these comments that she made. Um, like, well, listen, lady, I'm sorry that you only made it to dishwasher in your 50 years of age, but no, that wasn't appropriate, and I kept my mouth shut. I think it's better that way. So after 4 weeks, I thought, okay, we'll give it a little more time to see whether I can do it. But the situation didn't improve, and after 6 weeks, I asked for a replacement, and I quit. That was a relief, really it was. Um, so what's the moral of the story? Um, if you hate a job, don't do it. If you're free to move on to another job, take the opportunity, take the next opportunity that you get, because it will ruin your nerves and your health to work in a job that you hate. It's not worth it, really. Um, if you only have one job and you fear that you might not find another job in time, then, well, try to hold on a little longer, because it is not forbidden to look for a second or for a follow-up job during a job that you're actually doing. If you hate your job, just get another one. It's as easy as that. Well, see you some other time.